Hey everyone, this is Dungeon RPG. You might be curious about the game that I've been streaming on my channel in the last couple days. This is going to be a quick tutorial slash review video where I show you guys how Dungeons and Dam is played. And so this game is like a strategy game, or it's kind of like a Dungeon RPG that's on the Nintendo DS. It first came out in 2009, developed by this company called Acquire. And the background of this game is that basically you're living in this small town that's surrounded by this dam, and all of a sudden one day monsters started attacking the city, so you're mobilizing all of the town's resources to help defend the town. And that's basically the game in a nutshell. And as the story progresses, you have like more character development of all the people in the town, as well as all the different characters that are like travelers that comes by this town and joins you in defending the town with the dam. So it's really interesting in that way. And so for the majority of this game, it's divided into two parts: the daytime, where you kind of interact and with the people in the town and also do most of the planning with all the facilities that's open to you, and the nighttime, which is where the battle starts. So right now you can see we're in the day phase, and I'll just quickly run through all the facilities, and so these are the options of all the different facilities that's open to you. The first one, it's the shrine. That's basically your command center. You kind of go into it to mobilize your force, and added the composition of your team, as assign them different tasks to do at night. This is where you can also save the game. And all these characters are just random NPCs that sometimes give you tips. And this is like the help command. And also in the shrine slash command center is where after you finish your planning, you enter the battle for the night. And the second option here is the dam. So later on, when you gain access to the dam, you can use it to release all the water that's been stored in the dam and flush the dungeons to attack monsters that way. And so that's another useful facility. And the third one is the pub. This is where you recruit all of your characters to kind of form your army. And then the fourth one, this is the forgery, or like the blacksmith place. This is where you forge all the different equipments and weapons for your troops. And also this is where you can repair all your equipment. And the fifth option, this is the research laboratory. And it's kind of like a alchemy atelier type of place. There's an alchemist in there that she basically converts all the raw material you get from monster drops into materials that you can use to craft your equipment and weapons. And also she can perform a little bit of alchemy to combine all the different kinds of raw materials into new ones. And this is the sixth option. This is like a hospital rehabilitation, like a pharmacy type of area. In here, once you have it open, you can purchase different medicine that you can give to your troops when they fight monsters at night. And the second option from the last, this is the warehouse. It's more like a library type of place where first of all, when you have the warehouse dictates how many items you can hold in your inventory, but the only reason you go into it is to see kind of like the monster encyclopedia, which I can show you guys later. And the last option is the outskirt of town. This is where you can see some of your this is where you can see your record, like how many days of this game you have played and how many monsters you have defeated and things like that. And also later on, when you are using the dam to flush the dungeons, if you have any of your own troops that got flushed out by mistake, this is where you can retrieve them. I've never actually had that happen to me, so I can't really say much to it. So let's go into each of these facilities and see what they're about. So this is the dam. As you can see, I haven't unlocked the functionality yet, so here you can kind of talk to to the village's elder, but not much else you can do here. There's not much else you can do. And then here's the pub. Maksa, this is like one of the swordmen from the city, which is like one of your main characters as well. He kind of runs the pub, and you choose the first option, Maksa, and this is where you can hire new troops. As you can see, each day there's a random of a few classes you can hire. Today there's 1 warrior character and 3 thieves that you can hire. And the different classes that you have available will increase as you progress in the game, as well as unlock more unique story-related characters that will unlock more higher advanced classes. And for every class you hire, there is a certain amount of cash you can pay. You can see here, to hire this warrior costs you 354 SP. And also on the top screen, just below its level here, there's a dissatisfaction level, which is something unique to this game, in that once you hired a character onto your service, and as you use the character, that meter will slowly increase up until it reaches 100. At that point, you will have to rehire that character. That means like you've used that character a lot. It's kind of a really mean way to state it. Their dissatisfaction goes up to 100%, so you need to pay a fee to rehire them again. So as you can see here, I have a wizard that I've had on my team for a long time, and it's at 100%, so now I have to repay a fee of 743 to rehire this guy. So I just hired that wizard back onto my team. And on the bottom screen, you can see just below the cursor there's an 18 out of 20. That means like right now my capacity is 20 people. I can only have the maximum of 20 people on my team, and now I have 18 out of those 20, so I can hire 2 more. And you can increase that number by upgrading the pub facility. And the second option here is for class change. Once a unit's reached to level 20, you have the option of changing a basic class to an advanced class. Like a warrior can change either into heavy knight or samurai. And the third option is delete. You can actually permanently like discharge one of your members, which I don't think you'll ever have to use this option, but it's there. And the fourth one here, this is to invest facility. Basically, you can just put in money here to upgrade the facility. I think they go up to level 5. And with each upgrade of the pub, the cost to hiring new characters will decrease, as well as your limit of how many characters you can have on your team will increase. So this is kind of the pub in a nutshell, and this is actually one of the most vital facilities. Without the pub, you can't hire new characters, you cannot rehire your old characters that have become dissatisfied with you. So each time, if your pub ever gets taken down by monsters, this is like the first facility you want to restore. And let's go to the forgery here. Alisa, she's the blacksmith here in the forgery. She runs this place. And once you choose the Alisa option, you can see the first one here. You can produce different type of weapons. Basically, with the raw materials that you acquire in dungeons. Like this option isn't open to you until you can start like doing mining in dungeons. So you can see here, all these weapons are divided into different categories. And in the longsword category, the first weapon is the longsword, and that it requires 2 iron ore to forge, and then greatsword requires like a whole bunch of other materials, and you have to pay a fee to forge the different weapons too. So, but like whether your character has a forged weapon or not can make a big difference in their damage output. So like later on, after you deal with all your other priorities, you want to make sure all your characters have the strongest weapon you can forge at that time. There's the staves, hammer for smiths, and this is like the melee weapon for the striker class. katana for samurais, spear for lancer, chakram for the kunoichi class, and this is like the pickaxe for the miners, nabe for chefs, guns for gunslingers, cannons for artilleries, dew shield for guard knights, shields for just about everybody that can wear a shield, headgear, different kinds of headgears, body armor, foot armor, and the list goes on and on. And there are certain types of weapons like the encyclopedia for the scholar class that obviously cannot be forged, or have to find them as monster drops, same as the luggage type of equipment for porters. Those will have to be obtained via monster drop. And then second one is weapon combination. This option is really useful in that you can combine different weapons to upgrade them. You can see here I have the different types of, I have 3 different longswords. The second one here has a special attribute. The first and third does not. And let's just do a quick save here. You can combine, let's say if I combine the 2 different longswords, see they become a longsword +1, and also it added an attribute to them. This is how you can upgrade your weapons. Like a normal longsword has like 4 attack or like 6 attack or something. Here, adding that attribute, I think it's toughness. It decreases attack by 1 but increases the weapon's durability, as you can see, from 100 to 106. And there's like all these, I think there's like something like 40-50 different types of attribute that you can add to the different weapons. So it might be useful to explore this option. Like later on, this is how you get your weapons to be super strong to handle the really strong monsters. Let's see, I got a bunch full. All the weapons can go up to +5, I think. And then for each pluses, that also increases the attribute. Let's say if you have a strong attribute on the weapon that increases attack power by 1, that power will increase by 1 for each pluses you have at the end of the weapon. So if you have like a strong short bow +5, then it will add 5 attack to it, which can get really strong later on. And I don't have a lot of cash to do that right now, so I'm going to skip that option. And third option here was Elisa to repair. And as I mentioned before, all the different weapons as well as armors have a durability. As you can see here, I have the sharp longsword that's equipped to Maxa. Its quality is down to 75 out of 100, and as you use them in battle, the quality will slowly decrease. So you have to go back and repair them once in a while. For every time the quality is compromised, the actual attack and the stats on the weapon will actually decrease. If the quality is 0 out of 100, basically that weapon provides no benefit whatsoever to that character. So you just gotta make sure that you come here frequently to repair your weapons so that they don't become useless. And fourth option is to sell your items. It's a pretty explanatory option. And the second last is always to invest. So as you can see here, I just invested 70,000 onto the forgery to increase. I think after this investment is going to be at level 4 now. So the more money you invest, the more, I think, the cheaper it will become for you to create weapons, and also the more likely it is for the weapons to be attached a special attribute when you combine 2 of them together. So the forgery is definitely one of the first. It's definitely one of the first facilities that you want to upgrade. And here's a thief that you can talk to. Lancelot, it's archer. And this character, it's a booster. This is the one character you gotta keep in mind. When healers reach level 20, you can change their class to either Guard Knight or Booster. Boosters are insane. They like quadrupleizes all the effects of all the magic users on your team. So for your wizard that normally shoots 1 bolt at one of the enemies, with a booster on the team it will shoot 4 bolts at all of the enemies. It's crazy. I didn't discover this until way too late in my first playthrough. But yeah, boosters are definitely what you want to go for when you upgrade your healer. And then the fourth option here, the fourth facility, this is the research laboratory here. Maria, she's our alchemist here, and when choosing to talk to Maria, you can here refine some of the raw materials you get from fighting the monsters. As you can see here, I have some ores, bigger ores, and some monsters' bones and stuff, and you have to pay a cost. Let's see here, I got 15 monster bones, and it costs 70 SP to refine this. And see, like I refined it, and it yielded like 211, like a bunch of different materials. And then this is basically a good way to make money too. Like for that 70 SP I paid to refine this one monster bone, all those actual refined material I get can sell for I think upwards to 500-600. Let's see, yeah, see I got like 2 of these that are like 150 each, and I'm not sure what else I got. I think here's what they are. They're like 300 each, like 700 each. So basically, like once you refine the raw materials, not only they can be used to build equipment, they can be sold for a much higher price. So you can make so much money this way. This is how you get better resources. So let's sell some of those. I have access here. I can got 21 of these I can sell. See, like right now I have 3,600. Let's see if I can sell like some of these materials here. I'm just like refining all of these I have. Large bones, large beads. There we go, I just refined a whole bunch of material, and let's try to sell some of the refined stuff. See there, I just got 13k like in like less than a minute. So basically this is your main way of making money other than the money you get each day. And let's see here. The second option here is to do a little bit of synthesis to combine different raw materials into something stronger. As you can see here, Hikari Kagai Yaku no Kyesho. So you can combine some of the more common materials to form like some of the more rare ones. As you can see here, this light crystal, which I have none, but I can use like one of each of the more common materials to combine into one of the light crystals, and that can be used to make much stronger equipment and weapons. And the list goes on and on. There's like a ton of different options to explore here. And you will definitely also be using the research lab a lot. And once you invest money into the research lab, the cost for you to refine raw materials will become less. And also you will get better stuff from refining those materials. So it's super useful. Once again. So yeah, I would definitely say like the forgery and the research lab are the two you want to focus on refining. And the fourth one, this is like the Medicenter type of place. not so much. Like here, when you upgrade the Medi Center, more medicines become available, but I almost never purchased any medicine in this game. Like here you have like life potion that recovers your HP, mana potion recovers your MP, but like I just hardly ever use any of these, and they cost quite a bit, and the character just uses once and they're gone. Like here it costs 200 SP to recover 60 HP, which is hardly ever worth it. And I don't know, maybe I'm not playing this game right, but maybe like if you purchase a lot of medicine that will help in your quests, but this is something that you can just keep in mind, I guess. And the second last option, there's the warehouse facility. This Kanmato, this barrel guy is actually the mayor of the town. I don't know why he hides in that barrel. But when you talk to him here, this is like the encyclopedia that shows you the different monsters from the different dungeons, their attributes, like stats, and their resistance to different elements and stuff. So it can be kind of useful. Basically, this is the only reason that you will come to the warehouse. And there's also an encyclopedia for the different equipment. You can see like I have like 14% completion at this point. I've barely, like in the last couple days of streams, I've barely scratched the surface. Oh yeah, here's the magic attributes, the last option. This might be really useful for you to come check out to see what are the different attributes and what do they do for the weapons. Let's say if you have like protect phrase in front of the weapon, it adds the defense by 1, high speed increase their vision by 3%, reflects like 5% of the damage from magic attacks, and so on and so forth. There's some really strong and broken attributes that will require you to combine different attributes, so this is something that's like a game of its own. You can experiment this later on to form good weapons. I was really struggling a bit in my first playthrough, probably because I didn't play with the magical attribute mechanic of this game enough, but this is like pretty deep. And here the storage shows all the options, shows all of the equipment that you're currently holding, and shows there's a maximum. I think right now I can hold a maximum of 36, and total maximum of 60. I have 24 already, 36 left. So feather hats and all that. Once again, some different NPCs that you talk to kind of give you tips. And the outskirt is one you will probably never come to here. This is this bulletin board that lets you find all the characters that once again get washed away from dungeons. And then there's this mysterious purple-haired girl. She's like the dev or something. That she kind of gives you on your play record this time. So I've defeated 1,439 different monsters. I lost 0 adventures and twice half my facilities destroyed. And that's about it. The menu options here lets you look at all your different characters and you can sort them according to like class, level, or name, or which team they're from, so that's kind of cool. And then in the settings option, you can choose how fast you want the attacks to appear. 4, it's kind of my favorite. And you can set separate levels to the BGM sound effects as well as character voice. This one's default, this one's return to title. And so let's go to the command center. I'll show you guys what it's like organizing your team. Let's try to do this in the next few minutes. So Eruka, it's one of the she's one of the witch Miko type of character. This is the option you choose to edit your troops. First option is edit. Here you can kind of basically set your team up. There's 2 front guards. For each team, you can have up to 4 team members. There's 2 front guards as well as 2 rear guards. And different characters has different actions depending on whether they're put in the front guard or the rear guard position. And Moxao the Swordman, for example, if he's in front guard, he will use a slash attack, whereas if it's put in the rear guard position, it will attack with a sword like wave type of attack. So it like shoots out this like beam from his sword. It has low accuracy and lower move, but it can be used when they're in rear. That's what they're for. So all the different classes of character will have different actions depending on whether they're being put in the front guard, which is like these 2 positions, or if they're put in the rear guard position, which are those 2. So it's really useful for you to explore that as well. And you can set one of the characters as the leader of the squad, and then for each character they have a different ability when they're being the leader, and that's applied to the entire party. And for example, here Moxao has an attack increase +2 when he's the leader, so when you set Moxao as the leader of the 4-man squad, every member will have attack +2. And this scholar here has attack +2, accuracy +2, so maybe now I should set him as the squad leader as well. So as you can see, the archer gives accuracy +2, and the swordman just gives attack +2. So here I'm actually going to set, press Y to set character as our leader there. So I think you have up to 20 team of 4 each, so up to 80 characters. You wouldn't need that many at all to play this game. And I think I'll probably spend a separate video to explain the different classes and what they do. That is definitely a whole other can of worms. The second option here is to supply medicine to the group. Once again, like I mentioned before, the medicines, they're kind of used haphazardly by the characters, and they're quite costly, so I almost never use the medicines. Here, as you can see, there's 3 different sizes of life potion that recovers a different amount of HP, and 3 different types of mana potion that recovers a different amount of MP. And this is this one recovers 20% of both HP and MP, and 50% of HP and MP. So meh, whether you like I said, they'll start quite expensive. And this one recovers poison, recovers curse, and the last one revives a character. This thing costs us like 19,000 SP just to buy one, so like you'll almost never use it. And the third option, this is the most important command. This is the mission command. You can, like I mentioned before, the objective of this game is for you to defend the town and also at the same time divide and conquer. Go into the dungeons to attack monsters, and you can, in the command center, you can set the characters to either defend the town or go into the dungeons. So here are the 5 options. First one is rest. You almost never use that option, so it's for you to totally lay off a team for the turn to just let them do nothing and recover your HP and MP. Second option is to defend, and when a character is set to defend, they will defend the town and all of its facilities from monsters' attack at night. And you can set up to 6 teams to defend the town. But you will need to have at least 1 team, because there will be monsters that come and attack you. Third option is to repair. When you have any facility that's been damaged by a monster, this is the option you want to choose to get a team or multiple teams to repair the facility so they don't get completely destroyed. Because once you have all of your facilities destroyed, it's game over. So you gotta be careful. Third option is to invade. This is the fourth option, is to invade. And when you choose to invade, basically you are attacking the dungeon. Here you can choose. You can see here the underground dungeon number 21. You can choose to either attack the gates, which are like the posts that spawns the monsters, or just go for the monster, or once you destroy all the gate, a boss monster will spawn in the dungeon, and then you will get the option to attack the boss monster instead. And the last option here is explore, or when your characters go on an expedition. This is really useful in that for any dungeon you have beat in the past, when you get to the next dungeon you will get the option to explore the previous one. This is where you can send all the smith characters to go mine the dungeon, and you can send the thieves to go into the dungeon to get treasures, which is the only way to get some of the rarest equipment in this game. So whenever you have a team or two spare, this is when you want to send the team here to either mine the dungeon, which is the first option, to do treasure hunting in the dungeon, or the third option is just to level up by fighting monsters in that dungeon. So you want to go to mine and treasure hunting in the dungeons as often as you possibly can. This is how you get all your rare items and equipment. So basically, this is the command center in a nutshell. You can, once again, you can add it to your team's composition, give a medicine, and assign a mission to all of the teams, either to defend the town, invade the dungeons, or to explore a previous dungeon for items and to mine the previous dungeon for ores. And each team here on the top, in the top left corner of the bottom screen, it shows the name of the leader of the squad. The rough fighting ability of the squad is basically everyone's attack power combined. As you can see here, for Moxa's team, there's attack power is 54, and the third row here shows the attribute of the leader. So as we have selected before, this is increase your attack and accuracy. This one increases your attack, increases your agility, and so on and so forth. Let's see if this is a better leader for this team. Accuracy +2, accuracy +2. Maybe I want a smith to be leader, so it gets experience +2. So there we go. And the second option here is for Thea to this is the main character's sister, for her to save the game for you. So this is the save option. Do that often. And then third is the tutorial. And the second last option, this is when you have finished all your planning, all your interaction during the day. This is when you go into the night mode and defend the town and invade the dungeons at the same time. So why don't we just go to the night mode. So as you can see here on the bottom screen, it shows the 6 different facilities in the town that could potentially be attacked by monsters. There's the dam, warehouse, pub, here's the pub, and the rehab medicenter. What else is there? The forgery and the research lab. They're the 6 different facilities, and as you can see on the bottom, you can assign up to 6 different teams to protect them. And when they're here at the plaza, they will actually recover HP and SP automatically. So which is why I meant that if you have any weak characters or teams, you can just send them to defend the town, and once they're in the plaza, they can just recover their stats. You will never need to send them to just rest. And they basically take turns to defend the different facilities whenever monsters come and invade them. So on the bottom here, this is all of the team that you set to defend the town, and you can see what situation is going on in the town. And the bottom left, this is where we have the dungeon. This is what most dungeons will look like. It has all these different branching paths, And these gates are basically the posts from the dungeon that will spawn different monsters. The objectives of this game actually is for you to invade the dungeons, defeat monsters, and destroy all of the gates in a given dungeon. Once you do that, a boss monster of the dungeon will appear, and once you defeat the boss monster, you have finished that dungeon and you can move on to the next one. I think there's like 8 different dungeons in this game. Doesn't sound like a lot, but I've been stuck on the second one forever, so... And you can send up, you can see here on the bottom, you can send up to 3 different characters to in between invading dungeons and to going on expeditions. So you can send like 3 characters all to invade the dungeon and try to destroy the gates, or you can send 1 to invade the dungeon and 2 groups to go on expeditions for hunting rare materials. Well, I think I just got something really good. Gotta go back and check after the next. Like what I'm doing now, I have 1 team here going after the gates, which kept respawning for some reason. I think I have to unlock the dam to flush the dungeon before I can actually beat it. And then 2 teams here to explore the previous dungeon. As you can see here, once you get to the night mode, the fights are pretty much semi-automatic. Like the characters just do their own thing depending on whether they're running forward or rear guard, and depending on the equipment they have and what tasks you've been assigned to. So most of your like planning or gameplay is really carried out during the day. And in the night mode, there's only some minor commands you can issue to the characters, like you can make them choose to fight, hold still, which if they have been hurt, when they hold still they will recover their HP and SP. And of course run away, that's another option. So this is basically night mode in a nutshell. When all of the gates are alive in the dungeon, you will find the monsters spawning very quickly, and they kind of swarm the town. So with each new dungeon, you want to swarm the dungeon and destroy as many gates as you can, as quickly as you can. And once the hourglass runs down to the bottom, the night is over, and basically the time limit of the night mode is over, and you get to this report mode. And as you can see here, I've invested in all of my other facilities and upgraded them to like either 3 or level 4. I just upgraded the forgery to level 4. The dam is the only one that's level 1. And then you will get a certain amount of reward cash depending on like how many facilities you've kept alive and what level they are. So it's in your best interest to invest that money back into the facility so you get better cash flow later on. And it shows that so each of the facilities repairs itself by 5% automatically per night without you having to send any groups to repair, by up to 5%. So when it's at 99%, it will repair 1% to 100 basically. And all of that happens during the day, like before nighttime. So if a monster comes and damages the facility afterwards, the damage will happen after the repair. As you can see here, the hospital is at 100%, now it's got damage 1% to 99. And you get a report on all of your characters, whether they have been wounded or have used a ton of their MP, so they become exhausted. Here it shows this artisan guy got wounded, so you can see its HP is 88 out of 150 here. And when characters gets hurt, their dissatisfaction level goes up, basically. And this option here is one you don't want to skip. This lets you choose which items to take for all of the monster drops from the night. And the rule of thumb is that for each character they can hold one item. So for your team of 4, they can bring back a total of 4 items from the list of all the monster drop you obtained. So you can see here, I just chose the first 4 because this doesn't really make a big difference. And this team only got 1 drop, so you can choose one. I still have 3 left, but I don't have any more drops to choose from. And this team I have sent to go on expedition, that's why you see it's hunting not only some raw material but also equipment like feather hats and long swords. So this is why you want to send a team out on expedition to look for treasures, so you can get your equipment this way. And this one I got a bone shield. You can see defense 700 out of 100. Those are definitely all the ones you want to keep. Oh, look at this! Steel shield. Defense 11. These are some really good equipment. And you might notice for these two teams I can pick 5 items instead of 4. That's because I have a porter on the team. It's that chick that's holding a luggage. Whenever you have a porter on your team, that increases the amount of items they can take back after expedition by 1. And later on when they get to a higher level, they can increase it by 2. So you want to have some porters on the teams that you're going on expedition with, that's for sure. And this is the monster drop downwards in a nutshell. As you can see here, between all of my team, I've taken home a whole bunch of raw material and a weapon and a whole bunch of equipment as well. And then the report shows which characters has gained a level up. And then for each monster you defeat, they also get these bonus experiences. You can choose to distribute them to any character of the team. As you can see here, I have bonus 3,700 points, and I can distribute them to any of my characters. So I wanna the ones that are like reaching 100% dissatisfaction, you want to stay away from them, because once they get to 100%, if they're at a higher level, they will cost more SP for you to hire them back, so you want to level them up later, I guess. So let's throw 108 points into Frada, and that's about all I want to commit for now. Here's Trinity. She's the gunner, the gun princess that missed in my first playthrough, then I lost so many characters because of that. And then you can go back to read any of the reports that you've missed. And then the last one, more Jubin, says that's good enough. And then that's the end of the day. And you get to... After each night mode, you begin your day by choosing an event to watch, and they are all story-related events, either related to the main story plot or related to the side story, and this is basically what adds the flavor and a purpose to the game. So let's watch Mao no Sagashi Mono. Let's watch this first one. それじゃあここにはダムの研究に。あれは実に興味深いね。So these two, like Mine and I forgot what the professor's name is, they're from this they're from like this like academic city, and they're basically like researchers. Mina is like she is this scholar in training, and the master guy is like this archmage. He can use his magic. Edo, that's his name. Anyways, so Edo is this archmage that can use magics, and Mene is just a scholar. She wax enemies with a book, I guess. So this events happened after Mene like fell into a stream, and you saved her. Now she just recovered, and they both decided to join your team. So all the characters are in search for this kind of amulet that's rumored to be located in the city. That's what's drawing all of them to the city. I want to hear more about that later. 初めてで聞きました。The reading level of this game is actually fairly simple. This will be a good entry-level game for you to want to learn some Japanese if you want to. I've picked a pretty lengthy event to watch.
今日は何の用じゃ。おう。
Music is pretty good for this game.
Oh.
So basically, a bunch of these story characters are all looking for either this gemstone, or either Ginno Hyaku, this silver medicine, to either like cure their illnesses or try to find a way to defeat these demons with the gem. And Xion, the main character, and his sister Fio's father is the one who holds the key to both of these items. But as we know from the very beginning of this game, the father had disappeared while fighting monsters. So in this whole game, everyone's trying to find the whereabouts of Xion's and Fio's father. Which is also drawing all of the other story characters to the town. And you will find out later on, Xion actually holds both of those two items, even though the dad is gone, so he can choose to give those artifacts to one of these important story characters.
Yes.
Oniki's, that's the demon-killing gemstone. So now Edo joined us, and Mene joined us as well.
Ohayo.
So we're probably have another team with these players. So yeah, Edo is this really strong archmage that can use elemental magic, and Mene is a scholar that can do active analyze, which is that encyclopedia whacking skill, and to get info on the monster, and as well as it has a heal ability, so she's like a hybrid healer versus hybrid healer and scholar. So that's about it for the game. It took me a good 15 minutes just to run through the gist of this game and how it's played, so you can see how complex this game is, and I think it took me the first 2 chapters in my first playthrough just to learn how this game works. And it is really fun once you get the hang of it. And I'll just show you some of the characters I have already. I have a scholar. Maxa is a unique character as a swordsman, which is almost identical as your warrior character. and archers, and Guden is the male striker, the only striker, the only male. Its title is actually Kakuto, like a karate king. And Shogun, this is another unique character. You need to, I think, have your pup to level 10. Have your pup upgraded to level 2 in order for Guden to join, and then for the striker class to be accessible to you. Where's my striker? Yeah, here's the striker. And then in order to unlock the samurai and heavy knight class, you have to have your warrior class to level 10, and then level up the forgery to level 2, and then this unique character Obi he's like this retired general. He's gonna come to the town and then unlock those classes for you. And here the artisan is a really useful character that it can class change into either a miner, which specializes in mining ores, or like this smith type of person that specializes in like building and repairs, or a chef that does cooking and supports the rest of your team. This is the only. Before you get miner, artisan is the only character that can mine the dungeons, so you'll want to have at least a couple of these. Porters, I mentioned before, they class change into either adventurers or traders. One is specialized in exploring dungeons, one is specialized in treasure hunting. Archers, once you get Trinity, the gun princess, archers can class change into gunners, which I never got in my first playthrough because I missed Trinity. And thieves, you class change into kunoichis. I think that increases their attack power by a little bit. You can also choose to have them stay thief to disarm all the traps in the dungeons. Kunoichis can disarm traps too, but they're at a lower success rate than thieves. But they're stronger in attack, so it's kind of a give and take. Artisans I mentioned. Healers, they basically hold this first aid kit and heals your team members by a little bit, and they class change into either booster, which I mentioned before, that quadruples all of your magic, and guard knights, which holds this 2 gigantic shields and damages enemy and converts the damage into like healing for your teammates. So both of those are very strong. Once you get any healers to level 20, change them into booster or guard knight right away. And Casey, this is like the Osananajimi of Xion, and he is like one of the unique characters. It's like he's like a wizard in an armor, I guess, have like ridiculously strong defense and shoots magic bullets. He's got a crush on Hafio, Xion's sister. Sayano is a werewolf. She is a guard knight. She's actually a guard master, but she holds the 2 shields there. And she's actually an orphan picked up by a bandit gang. That's all a part of the story. And then I have another healer. And wizards get changed into an enchanter, so they like wax enemies with elemental and enhanced weapons. I've never used any enchanters, so I can't really say much about them. Strikers can change into lancers. I think their strikers is actually a fairly average class that don't get a lot of unique abilities or praise from people, so just but they look cool, so that's why you want to use strikers or lancers. Scholars, they class change into artilleries, and once you have them unlocked, like the cannons are really expensive to manufacture, and like you need like rare equipment to make gunpowders, but they're destructive apparently. Well, once again, I didn't have artillery in the last playthrough because I didn't have Trinity. And here it's Trinity, our silver-haired gun princess. She's unlocked by having an archer at level 10 and your research lab to level 2 early on in the game, which I missed recruiting archer in my first playthrough. That's why by the time I got an archer into level 10, I already missed that event, so I didn't get Trinity at all. So I got gunner, artillery, and bomb magician class locked out of my playthrough, which is a regret. You already saw Meaning. She's a scholar. Once you get her, you can recruit more scholars. And Edel is our last character, so our mage. It's actually a hybrid between a wizard and an enchanter. So that is all of the characters I have right now, and hopefully in the last little less than an hour I've explained this game thoroughly for you guys enough. And this video is definitely just for those who are interested to getting the game and wanted to learn the basics and avoid any mishaps in their playthrough. Definitely come to watch this video first. Thanks so much for watching, and right now I'm going to go back to streaming more gameplay of this game. Thank you for watching.